Okay, everybody, here we are once again. It feels like it's only been hours because it has, but Donald Trump is holding a press conference today at the bottom of the hour. I expect it to be extraordinarily humiliating. Why? Because that's the theme of everything Donald Trump is doing. Here he is just earlier today trying to say Yosemite, and if this isn't humiliating, I don't know what is.
When young Americans experience the breathtaking beauty of the Grand Canyon, when their eyes widen in amazement as Old Faithful bursts into the sky, when they gaze upon Yosemite's towering sequoias.
Who hasn't been overwhelmed emotionally by the towering sequoias of Yosemite? And then, of course, the Axios interview, absolutely and completely unhinged. In fact, we had a clip published about the Axios interview. Oh, my God. It published an hour ago and it has 110,000 views already. I don't know we've ever had a video get 110,000 views in the first hour. Holy shit. I'm shocked by what I'm seeing right now. Wow. Well, in any case, that's someone to, right. It's shocking Trump even said Sequoia. That's something to look at maybe after this press briefing, which is just going to be one thing on top of another. Now, I should mention, thanks to Kathy Paget for the YouTube subscription. C asks via Super Chat, what would you do if you were a billionaire? I don't think about stuff like that. I just think about, what am I going to do tomorrow in reality? And Neutral Music says plasma. Absolutely. And Evan Field says, counting down the days until the right starts abandoning him after Axios/today. I don't know how widely that interview is going to affect Trump's polling, but 30 million people had seen that 3-minute clip where Trump talks about the death rate. That's a lot of people in the first 12 hours. So that's a real problem for Donald Trump for sure. So here's another just really weird thing. Donald Trump tweeted earlier today. Where is it? Hold on a second. Here it is. Whether you call it vote by mail or absentee voting, in Florida, the election system is safe and secure, tried and true. Florida's voting system has been cleaned up. So in Florida, I encourage all to request a ballot and vote by mail. How stupid is this? So first of all, Trump has been insisting vote by mail is fraud and absentee voting is fine. Of course, what we're talking about is expanding absentee. After saying it's going to be so rigged that we might have to delay the election, now he says everybody in Florida should vote by mail. It's completely incoherent, and I'm hoping that we get questions asked about it today during the upcoming press briefing scheduled for the bottom of the hour. It is completely incoherent. It just doesn't make any sense at all. Now, I do want to tell you guys about something very, very ugly that's going on. Okay. Shots were fired across the bow today from fellow progressive Sam Cedar. And he made the extremely ugly allegation that he believes the recent rise in subscribers on the David Pakman Show YouTube channel may have been that I am using bots. Okay? This is very ugly. And I see people in the chat already realizing that this is a alliance of left media where things could go very, very bad. Okay? I don't like this at all. This was brought to my attention today by any number of viewers. Listen to what was said today.
Except for specific people. So I appreciate that.
Yeah, one other thing. Pac-Man is out there challenging you to a race to 1 million.
First of all, that's not true. I've challenged no one to anything.
He's really coming after you, and he's pulling away. You guys were basically tied around 908,000 YouTube subscribers. He's already at 912. Oh, yeah. And some people on Twitter were saying, well, yeah, that's because Pac-Man does more videos, but that's like saying the person who runs the race faster wins, and that makes the race unfair. I mean, I don't know. He just seems to be outworking you.
I smell bots. I smell bots.
That is a completely baseless allegation. Bots? We have built up what is now a following of 912,896 subscribers. Oh, wow. We're like a stone's throw from 913. He's calling you a fake person. Understand what that implies. If you are a subscriber to this channel and Sam Seder says our subscribers are bots, you don't exist. That is, I can imagine no bigger insult. So that is nasty, 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 nasty.
So look, here it is right now. We'll put this video up. Look, folks, Ronald Reagan has just informed me that David Pakman has taken a lead in our race to get to 1 million subscribers. And I am making a personal appeal to you right now. Hit the subscribe button. It's not necessarily where I'm pointing to. I don't know where it is. Maybe it's down here or over there. But hit the subscribe button. Don't let David Pakman steal our valor.
That is a direct attack. And I'm already subscribed to my channel, so I can't really do a damn thing about it. But I know that you fine people are not going to allow these allegations to be gotten away with. And we are not going to be taken down by false allegations of bot usage. Now, what I do want, so by the way, if you're watching, please hit subscribe because it's free and we could get to 913. Wow, we all of a sudden just picked up 70 subscribers, another 50, and we will roll over to 913,000. So you can help fight shots across the bow. But I want to mention something else. I have to be really careful with what I say here. I've been keeping this pretty close to the vest, and I'm not going to make any specific allegation today, but here's what I want you to think about. Social Blade is a website where you can see people's subscriber growth or reduction or whatever. There are channels where if you look at subscriber growth, you see that it increases not in, I'll actually show you what it looks like. This is what like a normal, this is what a normal chart would look like. Okay. So subscribers, where is it? Oh, where? I don't even know where it is. Hold on. Oh, I can't even find it. The point is there's a page where you can look at new subscribers per day. The normal thing would be a curve, right? Where like most days you get 0 or 1,000 because it's in thousands, 0 or 1,000, or most days you get between 1 and 3. There are some channels. I'm not going to tell you which. You can, if you think you know who would be a grifter who would do this on YouTube, you go look for it. I don't want to make the allegation. There are people where if you look at their subscribers, it's essentially 0, and then you'll have 10,000 in one day. And then a few weeks go by, 0, no gain, and then 10,000 in one day. It's like a step ladder of subscribers. That is not natural subscriber growth. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to tell you which channel it is, and I'm not going to tell you why I think that it looks that way. But if you want to spend some time clicking around Social Blade and thinking about who might be a grifter in this space, that's where I'm going to leave it. Okay? Unnatural subscribers. Very, very good. Thank you to I'm Spoon, Meckles, and Zach Prakowski, as well as Ragnarok, for subscribing over on Twitch Prime. Wow, my viewers are actually smarter than holy shit. I'm actually surprised at what's going on right now. That's very, very interesting. What people are posting on both YouTube and Twitch. That's very, very interesting. Okay, a couple of other super chats are coming in. Where is this? Zachary Foster says, David, you pretty good news on treating severe COVID patients with a drug called Aviptadil. I have not read that yet. Classy Andy says, is it bad that I skip when Trump is talking and listen to you instead? Not at all. It's good. Danny Thompson says, the name of this video should be Hello Darkness, my old friend. I've come to talk with you again. Thanks for sticking with all this junk. It's needed. Evan Fields says, jealousy is a bitch. We love you, David. Chakaseki says, David, could you please ask your guest Fenton Muley to do a quick impression for us longtime fans? I don't know who that is. I don't know what the joke is. Marika says, I don't like these Shakespearean developments with Sam Seder, Dark Times. It is when I was notified of what happened today on the Sam Seder show, I was very distraught. Very, very distraught. Proton Jinx says Sweden has the highest educated populace in the world by percentage of university educated, yet a full third are skeptic about vaccines. I'm losing faith in humanity. I don't know that about Sweden. That's interesting. Thanks to Susan Kerr, or Carre, for the Soy Boy subscription. CG says, I would take this as tongue-in-cheek and more friendly banter than anything else. I've said worse about my best friend out of no ill will. Oh, yeah. The entire Sam Cedar thing I just did is totally fake. Oh, Sam and I text multiple times. It was all a joke. I hope people understand that it's not serious. Jonathan says, perhaps Sam doesn't realize that you understand YouTube's algorithm and digital marketing better than he does. Wow. Counter shots fired. Cole Fuhrer has signed up as a soy boy. Alex Isaacson says, Sam's show is so slow. I used to listen, but I couldn't stand the long stretches of nothing. You rock, David. That's ugly. Every show is different and every show is valuable. Kakis Umbra says, powerful pack bots. Dave Lara has subscribed. Puddin' Pop says, I can't believe David Botman is trying to beat Sam Cedar to 1 million. What a joke. Sam Cedar's background is far superior to Botman's copycat wall panels. Nasty, nasty stuff. Cyrus Palmer says, Sam is so annoying. Many pauses and ums. Get the words out. It's just a delivery tool. I don't think it's bad. Candido Moreno says, how is Jesse Lee Peterson off camera? Was he the same as on camera? Yeah, he was actually identical. Jesse Lee's acolytes, maybe we would better call them employees. They all seem to be big fans of the David Pakman show. A couple of them wanted pictures with me, but Jesse didn't seem to like it. And he was very, very much exactly the same. All right, we are off and running on a Twitch hype train thanks to Tool Moo, who has subscribed with Twitch Prime. We are standing by for Donald Trump at the bottom of the hour. Kayleigh McEnany was 63 minutes late today and spoke for only about 22 minutes. 63 minutes late, spoke for 22 minutes. Bad. Very, very bad. We'll see what happens with Donald Trump very shortly. A Drumpf Twitler says, David, show us your cucumber. Yeah, I should do a garden tour soon. My cucumber plants, you can't even imagine what's going on with my cucumber plants. It's wild. My plan is to pick them relatively early and pickle them, because I've got a great pickling recipe, a brine, I guess we would call it. Thanks to Rai Guy Mang, Artistic Simplicity, and Geode Vent for supporting on Twitch, pushing us into a level 2 hype train. Renholder says, I tried to send you a message in binary for a bot joke, but it wouldn't let me. Oh, well. Why are Republicans so obsessed with telehealth when it's just a symptom of the problem? Yeah, it's completely laughable. Now every day is all about telehealth. It's wacky. Let me say thank you to Anders Svensson. Wow. Who is new member number 1 today. Philip Blackwell is new member number 2 at joinpacman.com. Waller is me says 160,000 Trump virus deaths surpassed just now officially. Yeah, let's look at that. Official coronavirus numbers. There it is, ladies and gentlemen. A tragic milestone, truly a tragic milestone. 45,000 cases today. Earlier, I was told Florida stopped testing. They did. They stopped testing on July 29th in advance of the hurricane. Testing not expected to really resume until tomorrow in many counties. So you literally can't believe these numbers. When you look at these case numbers, wow, that looks great. Well, they stopped testing on July 29th and then the numbers declined. However, when you look at deaths, 245 deaths today, a big spike back up to near record highs. So things are really bad. ICU usage, last I looked, was 100% in Florida, which is, you don't want to be at 100%. Hauser Slat, come on, guys, you didn't get me there. Where did that go? Would you ever date a lady Trumpist if she was a total hard body? Come on, guys, give me a break. Also, my girlfriend thinks you have amazing eyebrows. Did you shape them? No, not at all. These are just, I think in the Semitic lottery, what I got was the thick hair and extremely well-shaped eyebrows. And in fact, that's really it. So, no, I don't have to do any work on my eyebrows whatsoever. Tristan Coffey says, you have inspired me to make sure my loved ones truly understand just how important this election is. You rock. Excellent. It is extremely important. And I'm glad you're doing that. Martin Van Gorp says, in which European country would you like to live? I don't know. There's just so many. I mean, Paris is one of my favorite cities in the world. I have family in Spain. I have family Israel is not Europe, but there's so many great places in Europe that I've enjoyed. London is great in its own way. Italy has just such amazing places. Sarang Sheth says, if Trump's internal polls show him leading, why does he think he will lose a mail-in election? Won't both parties be cheating? Love from India. Yeah, I mean, it's all an incoherent narrative. There's no question about it. Saucy McSaucer says, Sam's going to win. It's obvious now the soy boys over at Pac-Man don't have endurance to reach 1 million. Sad. Sam Gang, David Botman. Guys, we're not going to let them get away with that, right? We have just reached 913,000 subscribers. And if just 700 more people subscribe, we will be at 914. There's 7,000 people watching on YouTube. If 10% of you subscribe, we get to 914 and we keep fighting the very ugly allegations that came out of the Majority Report with Sam Seder today, which alleged that my subscribers on YouTube are bots. They are not. They are real people like you. And I appreciate every one of you. Michael Corley says, I'm so tired of this blank every day. How exhausted are you? Yeah, it's tiring, but you know, I the full weekend, and often it's a 3-day weekend, I disconnect from it all. I think that that's a good thing to do health-wise. Catherine Belfiore has grabbed a Soy Boy level subscription. Kenny Redmond says, thanks for cutting off Kaylee earlier today. That was unfortunate. They were spreading propaganda. Very much so. Let's see what's happening on Twitch, where people are using our new BTTV emotes, which have been enabled. If there are specific BTTV emotes you would like me to enable, you can email me through the contact form on my website, and I will enable more of them. We have 2 minutes left to complete a level 3 hype train, about 1:45 now, actually. And then we would be on to level 4 and level 5 eventually, as far as I know. Thanks to Bendley for subscribing with Prime. Also, Wisdom CND has subscribed with Prime. AKA Silent X has subscribed. Aussie Priest has subscribed. And GQWK, just it's incoherent letters, has subscribed as well, pulling us closer. And there it is, level 4 hype train triggered right away as we wait for Donald Trump, scheduled for 2 minutes ago. Bryan says, I believe you, David. I'm looking at Social Blade now. What happened between November 25 to December 2 in 2019? You had a sudden spike of subscribers. We had some viral videos in that area. I don't remember specifically what we had, but we had a very, very good week that week. Cyrus Palmer says, Cyrus rhymes with virus, FYI. Okay, sometimes that name is Cyrus and sometimes it's Cyrus. Apologies. Cyrus. Kenny Redmond says, my insurance has provided telehealth for years. Yeah, many have. Qian Zhang has subscribed at the Soy Boy level. Rajan Sevjani says, besides just desperately wanting power, is the reason Trump wants to stay in power to avoid prison? Possible sealed indictments? I actually don't think so. I mean, it's totally plausible, like plasma, but I actually think it's just his narcissism. He can't lose. He really can't. Thanks to DeFranco Games gifting 10 subscriptions on Twitch, we are now at a level 5 hype train. We completed one level 5 hype train earlier today. We are now targeting a second level 5 hype train as they continue to, I guess we've got a zoom and focus test happening here, and we might get in really tight on this guy. Yep, there we go. Very, very tight. And then now back out after the focus has been adjusted. Total pros, these guys. Excellent. Oh, wow, we've completed the level 5 hype train. We're actually close to 200% level 5 hype train. That's insane. Walter says, what would you say the traits are of a good debater such as yourself? I don't consider myself a good debater, but I think some of the traits include not allowing yourself to be distracted into ancillary points and really keeping the focus on what is being discussed. Ready access to rebuttals, I think, is important. You need a macro and micro understanding of issues in order to be a good debater. I wish I was a better debater. I don't consider myself a good debater. Dominic Richardson says, can we start calling Trump's presidency the reign of failure? Yeah, of course. Oof Gotham says, Jesse's staff was fans of yours. Only one thing I can say to that. Amazing. Neptune says, Common David, don't forget about your large cucumber. Oh my God. Terminal 3 says, Trump is speaking at the bottom of the hour. I don't know why I subject myself to this other than I want to make sure he's voted out soon. Yeah, fair. Greasy Shell says, I always fail the reCAPTCHA tests. Now I know why. Casey Martin says, do you think Trump will try to pass a stimulus package via executive order or any other means in order to buy votes? Great show. I would not put it past Trump to try anything. Whether he will actually get away with it is a different question. Thanks to Sinful Siren Games and Star Fury Omega for the Twitch Prime subscriptions. I also want to say thanks to Aaron Jacobson, who's new member number 3 today at joinpacman.com. Kim Mung is new member number 4. Donna Lannon is new member number 5. Richard Trottier is new member number 6 today. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Just lost my earpiece. I'm going to have to adjust this little clip that goes on my shirt. Something about it seems to be, I've had it for like 8 years, so maybe it's time for a new piece of equipment. Knifist Sharp is also subscribed with Prime. Delia Ann Wolf has grabbed a Soy Boy subscription. Uvion says, so if a vaccine does happen to come out during the Trump presidency, how is he going to square that with all his anti-vax supporters? It will never be mentioned. It just is not going to be mentioned. We're down to the last 45 seconds of our hype train. We are nearly at 300% level 5. As a reminder, the best we've ever done is 620% level 5. We're currently at 285, down to just the last 30 seconds. A Kinky Turtle has subscribed with the message, I'm a turtle. Okay. The New Professor has subscribed with Prime. Zekol Guy has subscribed, as well as the Feister, down to the last 10 seconds. Is completing a level 5 hype train considered great on Twitch? Because I think it's pretty good. I don't know if it's common. Like, there's probably streamers that complete it every time. I don't know, but I'm flattered by it. Yes, people think yes, maybe. Maybe not. We don't know. It means I'm virile. Okay, that's an interesting spelling. Oh, man. Twitch is an interesting place. Matthias Germany. Oh, we just lost Matthias. Where did that go? Where is Matthias Germany? There it is. Matthias Germany. Hey, David, today I worked great on the like button from the standpoint of destroying. Thank you for your wonderful work. I don't know if that's some kind of Google Translate type of stuff. That's weird. Big Daddy Yaen says you should be careful. While you and Sam are racing to 1 million, Kyle Kolinsky may jump ahead out of nowhere. Keep up the good work. Certainly could happen. I don't know where Kyle is from the standpoint of subscriptions either. Satu Gustafson says, I know I'm not a bot. I know it as well. Johnny Minogue says, I bet we can find tremendous plasma at Yosemite. Everyone says that. Yeah. Let's just look at it one more time because it's just, it's a car crash. I can't look away. Actually, let's look at the short one.
When they gaze upon Yosemites towering.
I'm reading a book about some Mormon murders. It's a great book by the great John Krakauer. And Yosemite seems to me like the name of one of those fundamentalist Latter-day Saint preachers. I don't know why that's what's coming to mind. Tracy Ulrich and Eamon Barrett have subscribed. JL Switzerland says, can't believe how certain people in the U.S. behave in public, because they don't want to wear masks. We have been following what authorities have asked us to do, and we are well off. Best from Switzerland. Yes, Switzerland. Love Switzerland. I've been to Lugano. I've been to Zurich. I've been, I guess that's it as far as Switzerland is concerned. Tyrrell Falad says, have you seen what's going on in Beirut? Yes. On the earlier stream, we looked at just the videos are so devastating that they seem like movie special effects. And then you realize that they're not. Still don't know death toll. Still don't know what I haven't seen anyway. Any more said about responsibility, anybody claiming responsibility or anything like that. And my plan is to read up between now and tomorrow's show. Let me say thanks to Larry Schmitz, who's new member number 7 today at joinpacman.com. Also, Kathy Kirsch is new member number 8. Did I thank Thomas? No, Thomas Collier is new member number 9 today. Who am I missing here? Aaron Jacobson is new member number 10. And I think that does get me caught up. How late will they be today? I don't know. Scheduled for 10 minutes ago. Kaylee was 63 minutes late today. Let's just see if Donald Trump has updated the scheduling. Wait a second. Trump is being interviewed at 5. Must be pre-recorded, right? Otherwise, there's no way he could do this. This is weird. Yeah, that's odd. Anyway, all we can do is wait. Reporters starting to trickle. It's so disorganized. You're absolutely right. I've never seen a White House this disorganized. It's bizarre. Thank you to Pusherman, Scrubby Bubbles, Razil Kanos, and Rajan Sevjani, as well as NATO Jenkins TV, Luke LB, and Royal Fino, who have all subscribed on Twitch. Twitch has been blowing up lately. I don't know what's happening on Twitch. I think me being in that chess tournament is helping. But Twitch has been on fire. Fire. Okay. Hugh Ginvaini. All right. You broadcast to millions and wear a t-shirt? Fail. Oh my God, I wore a t-shirt. Can you imagine? Sam Dean says, "G'day, Dave. Genuine question. What is the exact role of a press secretary?" The exact role is to be a funnel through which the thoughts and ideas of the president are funneled to the press. It's a conduit, essentially, which is why it's so funny when the press secretary says, "I can't speak for the president." And it's like, well, that's your job. Your job is to be here as a conduit between the president and the press. How does Kaylee Maganani compare to the actual job description? That's a question for the ages. Sean Adams says, every time I try to watch Sam's show, it seems like a gaggle of school children giggling, and he's always yelling at people to pause it. Wow. JR says, what will you give to your millionth subscriber? So that's a fair question. You know, one of the reasons that I don't know that we're going to offer a gift to our millionth subscriber, if it ever happens, is that there's no way to know exactly who it is because of how YouTube works at this point. We just wouldn't know. So I don't know that that's the way to do it. Austin Show is here. Oh, hey, Austin. Wow. I'm honored. Austin Show is a major Twitch streamer with, wait, is that the same Austin Show? Is that Austin? Is that like the Austin Show from The Austin Show? Oh, you're honored to be in my presence. Okay. Austin and I actually do DM on Twitter every once in a while. Great to see you here. It's 13 minutes ago, Austin. So that means we shouldn't have more than like a few hours to wait. Quirky Quip says, thoughts on media ban for Goop conference? FamilySearch.org, free genealogy site, passenger list, census may help you with your Polish grandfather. I don't know what you're talking about, Quirky Quips. It seems like you're gish galloping me. I know all about my Polish grandfather. I knew him until I was, I think, how old was I? 16, 17 when he passed away. What the problem we're having is for me to get my European Union passport, I need my grandfather's birth certificate. My grandfather's birth certificate was presumably burned up during World War II. He escaped Poland, but he was born in a part of Poland that is now Belarus. There's no diplomatic relations between Poland and Belarus. So it's like, I don't know how the hell to get this birth certificate, which I need in order to get my European passport. So that's the complexity. But from a genealogy standpoint, I'm good. Karsten Muller says that Axiom interview, Axios, was the best interview I've seen in a long time. Listen, I've never seen anything like this happen on our YouTube channel. We published a video at 4 p.m. Eastern about the Trump Axios interview. That was an hour and 45 minutes ago. It has 175,000 views already. We have, in all the time I've been doing this, I've never had a video get 175,000 views in an hour and 45 minutes. People are reacting very, very triggered by the Trump Axios interview. Of course, it's bots. I mean, it's all fake. I mean, what am I talking about? But that's if you're watching Sam Seder. By the way, if you are just joining us, major shots have been fired today by Sam Seder, alleging that you fine folks are merely bots. Take a listen to this.
It's hard to put your finger on it exactly, but there's like kind of a train wreck.
The big
oh my God, now there's an ad. Wow, this is just crazy. Hold on a second.
With weird small face.
Oh wait, no, it was 148. Here it is.
Die except for specific people. So
Listen to this. This is ugly, guys. This is really
one
ugly.
other thing. Pac-Man is out there challenging you to a race to 1 million.
Untrue.
You know, he's really coming after you, and he's pulling away. You guys were basically tied around 908,000 YouTube subscribers. He's already at 912.
Oh, yeah.
And some people on Twitter were saying, well, yeah, that's because Pac-Man does more videos, but that's like saying the person who runs the race faster wins, and that makes the race unfair. I mean, I don't know. He just seems to be outworking you.
I smell bots. I smell bots.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine that? I have been assailed by Sam Seder. And by the way, this caller, they were wrong. We're not at 912. We're at 913,000. And in fact, we're only a couple hundred from 914,000. We've got 10,000 people watching on YouTube right now. We could be at 920,000 by the end of the stream if people put it together. So I am going to be issuing a statement tomorrow. I'm working right now with legal representation. I'm working with my agent. I'm working with a crisis counseling center on PR, crisis PR. And we are strategizing. We're going to hit back. I just want everybody to know, if you think that I'm going to accept this and I'm just going to go and recede to my backyard garden with my cukes and my zooks, we are hitting back tomorrow. So mark my words, this is going to get very ugly if I have anything to say about it. And just as a reminder, this is all fake. We're just kidding. Sam is my friend, okay? Sam is my friend. Thank you. Alfred Churchill says, why doesn't a reporter ask him, Donald, for real, are you okay? I think it would actually, listen, if a reporter actually asked Trump about his cognitive state during one of these, it would go insta-viral. It would be unbelievable. And I think it would be a very reasonable question, and I would love to see it. Thanks to Goth Kitty, T-Calculator, Ansel, Out My Window for the Twitch Prime subscriptions. I appreciate that. What else do we have going on? Reporters are filing in. Let me mention just very briefly, we now are regularly doing 2 or 3 streams a day in addition to the Hour podcast and broadcast show, the YouTube clips, and the bonus show. With total humility, I would suggest to you that if you would like to support the work we do in a really small way, this is not big stuff. I'm not asking for your firstborn or your secondborn or anything like that. Grab a membership on my website, joinpacman.com. My pledge to you is it'll take you under a minute if your computer skills are average to above average. It's very cheap. If you use that coupon code 2020 now, it's like $1.80 a month, okay, if you pay for the entire year at a time. And I will thank you on stream because it's just so inspiring when people sign up. Chandler Page, for example, is new member number 11 today. Phoebe Wolf, love the name Phoebe. Phoebe is number 12. William Brasowski, or Brasowski, is number 13. Yat Az is number 14, an unusual name. Anthony Antos is new member number 15 today. Stinky Pete, wow, is number 16 today. And Michael Canute is number 17 today. No more website crashes. Our website, we've quadrupled hosting resources on our website so that when people go to sign up, it won't crash. And the website is completely bot friendly. That's a fair question on Twitch. In fact, most of our members are bots using fake credit cards. So yeah, it's very, very much bot friendly by all means. Okay, other super chats are continuing to pour in as reporters enter the room. Let's see here. I missed a bunch. Let me go back up. Wow, so many of these flew by. I don't want to miss anybody. Okay, here we go. Matt Syme says, do you think Joe will need to call on the military to remove the Don from the White House? I don't think so. Nope, I don't believe so. Satu Gustafsson says, please promise me you will vote this orange nightmare out in November so I can quit day drinking. Greetings from Germany. I will do my part. Juggalo Trey says, hey, David, big fan. Will Merrick Garland ever get a justice seat? I don't believe so. Jade Smitchling sends a super chat. Maestro Cam, have you heard the latest on the possible Trump pump and dump scheme from Eastman Kodak? Yes. Senator Warren's having the SEC probe them. That's good. Let's see. Red Clasher says, hey, David, thank you for pulling me out of the alt-right rabbit hole I fell into at 14. We really need critical thinking to be taught in high school. Desperately. Desperately. Mark Anthony says, Yosemitites. Love you, Pac. Yeah, that's a reference to this.
When they gaze upon Yosemite's tower.
What he meant was Yosemite sequoias, all right? Very, very sad that that's the president. Tiamat says, Pac-Man, despite the clickbaity thumbnail, your clip on polling and how they're relevant was spot on. Good work. Thank you. Chris Brannigan says, do you think there will be massive protests and riots per a Trump re-election? What's the worst case in terms of public response? I think the worst case is if it's close, but Biden wins and Trump claims that it's rigged. That is what scares me, that you are going to have the gun people, as I know them, out on the street very quickly. And, that's scary. I want to say thanks to Gnome Cats. L'chaim, my friend. I appreciate that. You are new member number 18 today. Hayden Hagaboom is new member number 19 on my website. Sem Vote is new member number 20. Sean Dunphy is new member number 21. Genevieve Barons is new member number 22. Oh my God, something weird just popped up on my screen. I think I just got hacked. Bridget Reese is new member number 23. Chris Vind and Josh Mars are numbers 24 and 25. In that case, let's go for 50. Also want to say thanks to William Havukenen. Seems like a Finnish last name. You are number 26. Jonathan Herman, Matthias Seeliger, Chris Lowe, Juan Font are new members 27 to 30. Wow. And a user signing up under the name Donald Trump, whose real name is Chris, has signed up as well. And you are number 31. Very, very big day. Very big day. Claude Doust. Matthew McDonnell says, do you have any thoughts on the FEC not being in a quorum and the Republican on it leaving when it does? I did not see that story. I'm sorry. Claudia Doust says, French Quebecer Canada wants Trump gone. Yeah. Quebec, Montreal, one of my favorite places. Hope to be up there soon. Who knows when I'll be allowed. Oz says top 5 presidents go. I hate lists like that. I feel like it debases the discourse. Robert Summers says, what's worse, wearing a t-shirt or wearing a tan suit? Oh my God. Wearing a black t-shirt during a stream is much less offensive than wearing a tan suit. If I wore a tan suit, Fox News would be calling for my resignation. Eric Walquist says, what my favorite part of the Axios interview is it shows 45 doesn't get math. If we have the most confirmed cases, it tracks that we have lower deaths per case. Yeah, that the math portions of the Axios interview are historically embarrassing. Historically embarrassing. Very much appreciate Beauty and the Game signing up with Twitch Prime. Creel513, Your Lord, Few Skills has signed up with the message, do you believe the current case and death numbers? I addressed that at the top of the stream, so I don't want to redo it for people who have been here, but feel free to kind of scroll back for that. Thanks to Vilgupil, Extra High, Goth Kitty for the subscription. And I think that... Grandmaster Benjamin Feingold has subscribed. L'chaim, I appreciate that. I watch Benjamin Feingold regularly. Yes, thank you. Great to see you, Ben. People furious that Ben subscribed. Okay, well, listen, I don't know why you would be mad about that. Seems like a really weird, strange, very, very strange thing to be mad about. We're standing by for Donald Trump 25 minutes ago, scheduled for. Kayleigh McEnany was 63 minutes late today. Just total disrespect. I mean, it's like they consider the press to be pond scum, essentially. 63 minutes late. Her press briefing lasted 22 minutes, including questions. Now Donald Trump, 25 minutes late, although it seems as though the camera people and reporters are mostly at the ready. Maybe one open seat here in the front row, but maybe not even. But it's pathetically embarrassing. Truly, truly embarrassing. What else do we have going on? Michael Jones asks if it's worth it to donate to the Biden campaign or worth it at all. I can't tell you that. That depends on your financial situation. That depends on how responsibly you believe they are deploying resources. What I can tell you is this. The fact that Donald Trump may have to spend money in Georgia, he may have to spend money in Texas. He obviously is having to pour money into both Florida and Florida. That is not good. And so if we can keep the pressure up, even in those purple states, just to keep forcing Trump to spend money, it's good. It's good. You know, it may not flip the election, and it's unlikely really that Biden will win those states. Like, I don't think Biden's winning Georgia. I don't think Biden's winning Texas. But if Trump can't consider it a gimme and he has to spend money, that's money he can't spend in Ohio, for example, or Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania, etc. But in terms of whether you should donate, that's your decision. Javi Rodriguez said, oh, by the way, I've never donated to any politician. And people sometimes ask me why if I'm so politically involved. Number one, the influence I have through the show is far larger than what I would have by throwing money at a politician. And also, I just want it to be just off the top. There would be no hidden agenda where I might have, unbeknownst to you, contributed to a candidate. And then I'd have to explain whether my commentary is affected by having I just don't donate I've never donated $1 to any politician. You never have to worry that I'm, when I comment positively, negatively, or whatever about a race, that maybe I have money in the game. I have skin in the game in that I live in this country and I want what's best for the country. But you never have to wonder whether I might have donated to some politician. I've never donated to any politician. So they're pulling the TVs out. Usually when this happens, it is a signal that there is going to be a particularly propagandistic press briefing. And that's, make of that what you will. And yeah, it's a good question. Why didn't they set the TVs up earlier? It's very weird. Now 28 minutes late for the start of this. Now they set up the TVs. It's pathetic. Grandmaster Benjamin Feingold says, always donate. Always donate. Wow. That's going to be a conflict, I think. Javi Rodriguez says, chances of Trump indictment when he leaves office. Essentially zero. Here's the deal, guys. The opportunity to hold Trump accountable is to vote him out in 3 months. That's the opportunity. If you have these fantasies of Trump being walked out in handcuffs by the FBI or whoever, you're going to be sorely disappointed. Vote him out. Those are the consequences, period. This idea that he's going to prison or getting indicted, the best we can hope for is Trump organization financial wrongdoing. Organization, not Trump. Ben Diller says, could the Republicans be waiting until closer to Election Day to pass aid so that short-term memory is the prevalent factor at polls? Yeah, I mean, I think there's no question that Donald Trump would love to be able to take credit for a vaccine on October 10th, to take credit for some treatment, whether it's plasma, remdesivir, however he pronounces it. You know what I'm talking about. I certainly think so. And to be clear, the chances aren't literally zero that Trump gets indicted. They are functionally zero. In other words, they are so low that there would be no action that we would take with the idea that he might get indicted. We know we can hold him accountable by removing him in 3 months. This, Trump in handcuffs. It's like, okay. What else do we have? The president's ego is almost as big as Pac-Man's cucumber. No, my zucchinis are large. My cucumbers are not yet large. I started those from seed. And I have nothing bigger. I think I have a 3-inch cuke is my biggest cuke right now, but I've pulled a bunch of 10 and 12 inch. How is this my job? I've pulled a bunch of foot-long zooks, bunch of very large zooks. I made a Italian granny zucchini soup last week. Let's see here. Chris Stultz, careful with Sam Davidson. What, Davidson? He sent many libertarian debate lords to early graves. Oh, my God. That's ugly. Danny Thompson says, whoa, where did that go? Where did Danny's message go? Sometimes when a bunch of super chats come in at once, it scrolls. Danny says, would you consider doing an almost illegal membership price of $15 for your 15-year anniversary of the show? Danny, you're thinking, Danny, okay? I mentioned a couple weeks ago that, or I guess yesterday, feels like a couple weeks ago, I mentioned that this month is the 15-year anniversary of the David Pakman Show. When we started, I was in mere kindergarten, and now it is the 15-year anniversary of the show. Towards the end of the month, we are going to have a membership special that if the Soviet Union had not fallen apart, it would likely fall because of this membership special. That's how whacked this membership special is. And in fact, my employees have staged an intervention to try to stop me from doing this membership special to celebrate 15 years of the David Pakman Show. And they're not going to be able to stop me. Okay. So Danny, beautiful question, and more about that 15 for 15. Whoa, what's going on here? Uh-oh. We've got, I'm getting massive thunderstorm warnings. I hope that I don't lose power during this. That would not be good. I actually think I just heard a huge branch fall. So things could get ugly, guys. I'll do what I can. Joseph Yu says, you were stressing me out for a minute there, David. Oh, I don't know why. Rainer Mendez says, David, did you see the explosion in Lebanon? Yes. At this point, there's nothing more I can add. So by tomorrow's podcast, I will have researched it for you, and I will have some broader commentary about it. Thanks to Zingerlicious for the Twitch Prime sub. If It Fits has subscribed. Mad Mac 2K17, welcome. R. Gray and Whip Viper Dirt 11 has subscribed. A lot happening on Twitch right now. A lot happening. You guys may have seen yesterday that there was, speaking of a shot across the bow, Grandmaster Hikaru Nakamura stated yesterday, unequivocally and with perfect clarity, that he prefers the David Pakman Show to the political commentary of Stephen Kenneth Destiny Bennell II. Okay? I don't want this to cause a rift between Stephen and I, but I can show you that clip because it is, some people were very, very offended by this, which was said. Let me quickly get to it because it seems we're very close to Donald Trump. Listen to this. Categories. Yes, Stephen Kenneth Destiny Bennell II would be an interesting player in the tournament.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like your politics and the way you explain things is a little bit better, honestly. Like,
really? Oh my God, clip that. Jeez, holy shit. We've got to clip that.
Just saying.
That's shocking. So that was a really big moment, I think, for the, there's the progressive Twitch community, which I think is like not that many people. And progressive political streamers, I mean. There's lots of progressives on Twitch. And then there's the chess community. And that was a beautiful Venn, if you imagine a Venn diagram, that was a beautiful sort of intersection of the progressive and chess community. And it was serious. It was a really big moment. A lot of people contacted me to congratulate me for that. Okay, Kurt Wells says, why do you think it's taken this long for reporters to take Trump to task and the fashion Axios did? Do you think others just weren't as effective? So here's what you have to understand. In the United States, the fear of journalists losing access to people in positions of power creates sort of a constant status quo of softball interviews. And so when Chris Wallace says to Trump, hey, you know, I took that cognitive test, it wasn't that hard. And people go, oh my God, hardball. No. When everybody else is playing softball, playing the normal game of journalism seems like you are playing hardball. In other countries, Trump arguably never would have made it to the presidency because the serious interviews he would have gotten early on would have completely destroyed him. So we had a journalist who did an interview. And when the person in power said something that made no sense, like the manuals and books say not to test very much, and Jonathan Swan goes, what manuals? What are you talking about? What books? It looks like he's doing something amazing. He's just doing his job. And I think that that's let's not miss the forest for the trees or allow the Overton window on what counts as journalism to be moved. Chris N says, please take this money and buy 1/100th of a Tesla share. Yeah, I don't know where Tesla stock is right now. Full disclosure, as many of you know, I've owned Tesla stock for a long time. Where is Tesla stock right now? Right around $1,500. Okay. Yeah, that's high. That's high for sure. I bought in February of 2015. So I don't know exactly what the price was then. I think it was around $200. Yeah, looks like it. I'm just holding. I'm a buy and hold sort of guy. Let's see. Bay Photo says the guy concerned about a rigged election wants to rig the election. Classic. Yeah, that's essentially it. Ashtray Vlogs says, here's for hope. Congrats on the growth, man. Thank you. Juggalo Trey. Hey, David Pakman, will you ever come on my unnamed weekly podcast? You know, if I don't even know the name of it, it's going to be hard for me to appear. Adam Despain says, is it possible the RNC convention nominates someone other than Trump? No, absolutely not. Michael Sansevero says, my fear is when voted out, what will he do in his last 2 months in office? It's not just what will he do. It's what will his followers do? What will the gun people do if Biden wins by a small margin and Trump claims it was rigged? That's really the scary thing. Mandings says, how do you think McEnany would fare in an Axios interview? She would be brutalized. It would be brutal. Ian Jones says Senate was holding hearing calling Antifa organized foreign terrorism. They're out of their minds. Ty Strong asked, do you think the Republicans holding up relief for Americans is just the next cash, property, and land grab for the wealthy? Well, the wealthy have done very well during the virus, and there's a few different ways that that's been the case, and you can check out my YouTube clip. I forget the name of it, but it's something like a lot of money is being made with coronavirus, including no-bid sweetheart contracts to companies that didn't even exist 8 months ago from the Trump administration. There's a whole bunch of ways in which a lot of money has been made due to coronavirus. Okay, here we go. Here is Donald Trump. Let's see what we got today. It's going to be brutal. I hope everybody's strapped in.
Thank you very much.
Somber Trump.
Let me begin by sending America's deepest sympathies to the people of Lebanon, where reports indicate that many people were killed. Hundreds more were very badly wounded in a large explosion in Beirut. Our prayers go out to all the victims and their families. The United States stands ready to assist Lebanon. We have a very good relationship with the people of Lebanon, and we will be there to help. It looks like a terrible attack. I also want to provide the latest on Tropical Storm Isaias. Approximately 600,000 are without power along the East Coast.
Was it named that way just so Trump couldn't say it?
To restore service as quickly as possible. I spoke to Governor Cooper, I spoke to Governor DeSantis, and I spoke to all of the people at FEMA, and they're working very hard.
Hey, by the way, did Trump call it an attack in Beirut? Like, do we know that, or did he just reveal something that he was briefed on confidentially and he wasn't supposed to say that?
And very, very high winds. FEMA is responding to states that have requested the assistance. We have a list of those states. We can give them to you in a little while. And my administration is monitoring the situation very closely. We have the military on guard, but we have FEMA is there in all cases. Corps of Engineers is ready if needed. The Army Corps of Engineers, very talented people. I urge everyone in the storm's path to remain alert and to follow the guidance of your state and local authorities. I now want to update you on the path forward having to do with the China virus. Before I do that, I want to give you some numbers, which are rather spectacular, that just came out. The manufacturing index of the Institute for Supply Management, that's ISM, most of you know it by ISM, increased for the third month in a row, rising nearly 2 points in July to 54.2. That was fantastic. The highest reading since March of 2019. This is remarkable considering the survey was conducted throughout July and showed significant improvement despite the Southwest, in particular, virus hotspots. The ISM measures, and it's a very strong measure, of new orders rose 5 points in July to 61.5, and its highest reading that would be since September of 2018. That's a big number. Since the April low, new orders are up over 34 points, which is the largest increase in the history of the ISM, dating back all the way to 1948. So,
as if he understands math.
Just since 1948. Similarly, the ISM's measure of production is up 35 points from its April low to a reading of 62.1, which is the largest three-month gain in over 70 years. That's some number. These were somewhat surprising, but I've been saying we're doing well, and those numbers are really spectacular. Automobile sales, likewise, are a key factor in the resurgence of manufacturing since the March low of 8.8 million units, with sales and all of...
I'm glad Trump knows the difference between numbers and letters. That's something.
Stunningly, it's 65% increase since then to 14.5 million units, which is a massive number. The great strength and great news is really for states like, in particular, Michigan and Ohio, South Carolina, Pennsylvania, very good.
Interesting he's mentioning 3 of those 4 states, which are crucial states if he's going to get reelected.
Record-setting numbers. The strength in new car sales is also evident in the used car market, where soaring demand, literally soaring demand, is putting upward pressure on the used car prices. This is a leading indicator of the motor vehicle industry. The need to restock depleted shelves will further galvanize the factory sector, and we think very substantially based on the numbers. We're very, very happy with these numbers, and I think most people are anywhere from surprised to shocked by these numbers in a very positive way. Economy-wide inventories crashed at a near $320 billion annualized rate last quarter. A crash in that case means a good thing, not a bad thing. That's the largest drop ever on record, ever.
It's a good crash.
Home builder sentiment likewise is soaring, as our home sales sentiment is now higher than last year, and new homes recently made a 13-year high. So we have a 13-year high in new home construction. New business applications are very strong. That just came out. The widely followed Atlanta.
What does that even mean, a new business application? You don't really, like, is he saying just business entities are being registered? Is that EIN registrations? With any one of these dumb comments, it's like, what do you mean business registrations, applications? It doesn't make any sense.
Growth in the current quarter. So 20% in the current quarter. We'll take that all day long. Let's see if that's right. That's a projection. So we'll see if that's right. The Atlanta Fed, very respected. The virus, back to that.
Yeah.
We are continuing to monitor and monitor in particular hotspots across the south, southwest, and the west. And we're seeing indications that our strong mitigation efforts are working very well, actually, especially to protect those who are most at risk, which has really been our primary focus for ever since we've gotten to understand this horrible, horrible plague that's been unleashed in our country by China. As of yesterday, cases are declining in 70% of the jurisdictions compared to 36% last Monday. That's a big, big number.
So what counts as a jurisdiction? Number 2, Florida stopped testing last week because of the hurricane. Number 3, he lies all the time. Number 4, he doesn't understand math.
Mid-July, in other states, the data suggests that the need for continuing vigilance always is strong, even though the numbers are getting very good. States that have a test positivity rate between 5 and 10%, and in the states with the lowest positivity rates, we also see slight increases in daily cases, and a couple of them. We must ensure that these states do not become new flare-ups, so we're watching them very, very closely. Fortunately, thanks to substantial improvements in treatment and the knowledge we have gained about the disease itself, the recent rise in cases has not been accompanied by a significant increase in deaths. Fatalities nationwide are at roughly half the level of the April peak, so the death,
right. Let me show you the trend line.
Fatalities are at half the level. One is too much, one death, because this should have never happened to us. It should have been stopped very easily by China in Wuhan. Thanks to our major advances in treatment, we've seen vast improvements in recovery rates across all age groups. Compared to April, mortality rates are 85% lower among individuals aged 18 to 69. And 70% lower among individuals over 70 years old. We've also made significant strides in sheltering those at highest risk, especially the elderly. Approximately 85% of all current cases are individuals under the age of 65. Just getting some very accurate numbers on this. And these are people who are generally at a much lower risk of complications. Since the pandemic began, nearly half of all fatalities have been at nursing homes or assisted living centers. That's an incredible statistic when you hear that number. This data underscores that the best path forward is an aggressive strategy focused on protecting Americans at highest risk. As we race toward the development of a vaccine, we must continue to take extraordinary precautions to shield the elderly. And we're doing that. We're doing that at a level that we've never even dreamt possible.
We're shielding the elderly at a level we never dreamed we could shield the elderly. That's the assertion.
Especially the elderly with the underlying, whether it's heart or diabetes, they seem to be the two most predominant conditions that cause tremendous problems, while allowing those at lowest risk to carefully return to work and to school. Where embers flare up, we must engage immediately, and that's what we're doing. This is the science-based approach, and that's good with us, working very hard on that. An extended lockdown would fail to target resources at the highest risk populations while inflicting massive economic pain, long-lasting damage on society and public health as a whole. So there won't be lockdowns, but we watch specific areas. We're very careful, and we're putting out.
Remember, there was never a national lockdown. There's this idea that we did this really tough thing. It was a national lockdown, which Trump called for. He never called for it. Different states at different times had different degrees of lockdown. Trump then just talked about opening. And now he says, we're not going back to that full lockdown, which the country never actually did.
Medicine, as we discussed the last time, and as I said numerous times during this day, it's an incredible thing that's happening. A central part of our effort to protect the elderly is to greatly expand access to telehealth so seniors can be treated from the safety of their homes. And that's what's happening. The number of Medicare beneficiaries using telehealth increased from roughly 14,000 a week to nearly 1.7 million. So from 14,000 to 1.7 million per week in total. 10 million Medicare beneficiaries have accessed telehealth services since the pandemic began. That's a tremendous thing that's happened with telehealth. As we shelter those at high risk, we are also pouring every resource at our disposal into the development of therapies and vaccines.
Plasma?
2 vaccine candidates are currently in the final stage of clinical trials, with several more vaccine candidates entering phase 3 in the coming weeks. And you've read and seen what's happened today. Today's news was very exciting. Through Operation Warp Speed, we're also mass producing all of the most promising vaccine candidates, and we're determined to have a vaccine very quickly. We think we're going to have something very soon. We have great companies. These are among the greatest companies in the world. But right now, they don't like me so much because I'm forcing them to drop drug prices, prescription drug prices.
He said it wouldn't even happen till 2021, at which point he might not even be president.
All right. We're having a tremendous, you'll see a tremendous drop in price. We're using favored nations. We're using the rebates. We're using everything. So long I've heard about how...
He's going to send you coupons you can clip.
They call them the middlemen. And they are very wealthy. Nobody even knows who they are, but they're very wealthy people. And we're doing the rebates. We're doing...
Is wealthy bad? Because Trump ran on being wealthy as the reason why you should vote for him.
Much less money than the United States is allowed to under a very bad system. I don't call it archaic. I call it bad because it's meant really for drug companies to get higher prices.
What is he talking about?
But under the system of matching that we have, if Germany has a pill for 10 cents and ours is $2, we're allowed to say we want favored nations and we want the pill for the same. The same as the lowest country in the world. If they sell to one country lower than anybody else, that's the price we're going to get. Drug companies aren't too happy about that. Big Pharma. We've also dramatically accelerated the availability of plasma therapies, steroid treatments, antivirals, and other therapies to treat the illness. Today, the NIH, we're very exciting, announced that they're beginning the trial of 2 new antibody treatments, which will take place in 40 cities across the country. We're going to move very quickly. Results look very good already, incredible results. More than 230 clinical trials for potential treatments are underway, and we've secured 500,000 courses of treatment for remdesivir. We're really doing a job with it, and it's helping a lot of people. That's why you see the fatalities and mortality numbers looking very good, relatively speaking, that is. But that's for American hospitals through the month of September. So we have remdesivir at a very high level for hospitals through the month of September. That's big news.
Right.
The United States also is far and away the most robust testing capacity in the world. Testing has been incredible, what we've been able to do. Nobody's even close. Since March 12th, we've increased daily testing by 32,000%. How's that? 32,000%. Somebody would say that must be a typo.
It's not. We just had no tests. When you start with 0 tests, you can get some pretty good growth rates.
Million tests nationwide, averaging over 820,000 tests per day and nearly 5 million tests per week. And now that we're understanding the virus, we're understanding very much what we're doing with respect to who it affects, who it's destroying, and who gets away with it, like young people, very young people. We'll be having some interesting statements having to do with testing and focus testing. I call it focus testing.
You're going to make interesting statements.
By comparison, Mexico, so we're doing numbers that are incredible, but by comparison, Mexico, as you know, the president was here, he's a great guy, but their numbers are much different. They do about 1 million tests. France has done 2.9 million tests. Canada's around the 4 million mark.
Meaningless.
Australia's around the 4 million mark. The United States is testing more people in a single week than, in many cases, large segments or large, well-known countries all put together.
What counts as a well-known country to Trump?
Testing and the quality of the testing also. And now we're doing testing where you can have results in 5 minutes, and 7 minutes, and 15 minutes. as opposed to waiting to come back from labs for it to come back from.
Still, even here in Massachusetts, where things are pretty good, you have to wait 5 to 7 days for results.
Testing sites in Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Phoenix, Miami, Jacksonville, Florida, McAllen, Texas, Bakersfield, California. And this week we're opening new surge sites in Houston, Texas, Atlanta. To date, more than 130,000 tests have been conducted at these sites. Last week, the FDA also authorized the first 2 tests that display an estimated quantity of antibodies present in the individual's blood, which is a big deal, allowing us to learn more about the immune response. FEMA and HHS has worked with the private sector to deliver we have new numbers, more than 200 million N95 masks, 855 million surgical masks,
gowns,
36 million goggles and face shields, 364 million gowns and coveralls, and
what
21 billion gloves. Billion. Can you believe that? Billion gloves. And we distribute that to the governors, different states, and when we get on the phone with them, they're very happy, that I can tell you. No complaints from any of them. They're very, very happy. What they say to you separately maybe will change for political reasons, but they are very happy with the job we've done. In our national stockpile, we've tripled the number of N95 masks on hand to more than 40 million, tripled the number of gowns to 15 million, and quadrupled the number of ventilators to nearly 70,000. These numbers are growing every day, and we're now making thousands of ventilators, many thousands of ventilators a month, and we're getting them to other countries who are desperately in need of ventilators. They're very hard to produce. They're very complicated machines. So we're fully stocked here, and we've made sure that every state is fully stocked, but we're getting them to a lot of countries that need help. We'll continue to work with the governors and local authorities to help them ensure significant hospital capacity, protective equipment, supplies, and medicine. I'm more confident than ever that we will get a vaccine very soon, and we will defeat the virus. And
very low energy.
I want to thank you all for being here. We'll take a few questions. Yeah, please.
I wanted to ask you about Kodak. You had a big announcement the other day about getting Kodak into the pharmaceutical business, but the SEC is now investigating what happened.
Yes.
Can you say a word or two whether you think that there might have been some kind of a problem in terms of how those arrangements were made? Is there any grounds for concern from your perspective?
No, I don't know. I wasn't involved in the deal. The concept of the deal is good, but I'll let you know. We'll do a little study on that.
He's going to see whether there was an entire insider trading fiasco and let you know.
But I wasn't involved in it. It's a big deal. It's a way of bringing back a great area, too, in addition to pharmaceuticals. Kodak has been a great name, but obviously pretty much in a different business. And so we'll see what that's all about, but we'll let you know very quickly. Yeah, please.
I just want to follow up before I ask a coronavirus question on Lebanon. You called this an attack.
There we go.
Are you confident that this was an attack and not an accident?
Well, it would seem like it based on the explosion. I've met with some of our great generals, and they just seemed to feel that it was. This was not...
That's news. It's not clear whether he was supposed to be saying that.
Manufacturing explosion type of event. This was seems to be, according to them, they would know better than I would, but they seem to think it was a attack. It was a bomb of some kind, yes.
Interesting. And on coronavirus, you've talked a lot about, when you talk about the mortality rate, the deaths as a proportion of cases, which I understand that is significant when you look at how deadly the virus is or how good a country does at keeping people alive who get infected. But when you're talking about the scope of this virus, when you look at the percentage of the population that's died, there's only 3 countries that have more deaths than the U.S. So how do you explain that why the percentage of the population who's died is so much higher in the U.S.?
We're going to talk about this.
Actually, the numbers are lower than others. I'll get back to you on that, but we proportionately are lower than almost all countries. We're at the bottom of the list.
Not
and
true.
We're, relative to cases also, we're at the bottom of the list, which
She's
is a good...
saying, so I've been saying this for months. Jonathan Swan finally asks about it in the Axios interview. Now everybody all of a sudden is like, why does he keep talking about case fatality?
And, Coronavirus Resource Center on their website, it says the most affected countries, when you look at deaths per 100,000 people, the population, so how many people the population have died, you have the UK, Peru, Chile, and then the US. Canada has 8,000, 9,000 deaths. Obviously, they're smaller than us, but that's only 6% of the population.
He doesn't get it. He doesn't get it.
That's 6% of our total cases. So why aren't they?
He doesn't understand these numbers.
We're based on New York had a very tough time, as you know, New York, New Jersey, that area. And when you take them out, just as an example, take a look at Florida relative to New York. That's not to say anything wrong with New York. It was just a very tough place. People are close together. It's crowded.
If people keep hammering on him on this, he actually may crack.
Among the lowest, and even with it in, I will get back to you, but we have among the lowest numbers. They've done fantastic job.
That's a lie.
Yes, Mr. President. I would like to ask a question about the election, but one thing on unemployment first. Are you considering taking executive action to extend or rather reinstate the unemployment benefits that expired last week if Congress can't get a deal by the end of the week? Yes. And as a general point, what rate then would you want in there? A percentage or flat rate?
We are looking at it. We're also looking at various other things that I'm allowed to do under the system. And such as
First of all, notice this is the low, somber voice he uses sometimes. Anytime you ask him to give you the percentages or numbers, he just doesn't know. He's not going to do it.
Solving the problems of some of the Democrat-run states and cities that have suffered greatly through bad management. I mean, really bad management. So that seems to be where they're looking for $1 trillion to help out with cities that are run by Democrats, in some case radical left Democrats, that have not done a good job. I appreciate today the Wall Street Journal said very good things, that we did a great job in Portland by having our people go in, Homeland Security, Chad Wolf and the folks. We went into Portland and we've done a great job, and they had that in an editorial that we really won that situation. But we want the whole, we
winning
did
and losing, those are the terms.
The courthouse was going to be burned down or not.
Everything's winning and losing to this guy.
Danger, we went in, we took care of it, and we appreciated what the Wall Street Journal said. As far as the various things that I may or may not sign, I may not have to sign. I mean, progress is being made, as you know very well, in the Hill. We'll see what happens. But I have the right, including the payroll tax suspension. We may do some things. We want to take care of the eviction problem. People are being evicted very unfairly. It's not their fault. It's China's fault. It's not their fault. And people are being evicted, and we can do that with an executive order. So if we don't get, and we want to do it relatively quickly. I mean, even from the standpoint of COVID, people get evicted and then they go into shelters, and there are thousands of people in the shelters. And this is not a time, you never want to be in a shelter, but this is not a time to be in a shelter with the COVID. They catch it, they get it, and it's no good. So I may have to do something on evictions too, because the Democrats amazingly don't want to do it. We offered them short-term deals, and we offered them lots.
Remember, Democrats wanted to do something on it 2 months ago, and this guy just sat on it and said, we may not have to, things may be great.
It's by Democrats. Okay.
And if I could on the election, sir, can I?
President Trump, on the sale of TikTok, you're basically arguing that the U.S. government is going to collect a cut from of a transaction, including 2 companies, in which it doesn't hold a stake in. That's unprecedented. That's never happened in U.S. history before, and the administration has offered very little explanation about how that's going to work. Can you back your statement up and provide specifics about how that would work?
Did you say that's impressive? Did you actually use that term?
I said it's unprecedented.
Oh, well, it's almost the same thing. Not quite. I like it.
He thought someone was praising him for a second.
Not quite. Close. So TikTok. TikTok is very successful. It does tremendous.
I want Tic Tacs banned. I'm done with Tic Tacs.
Riveted by it. I mean, I have many friends, when they saw that announcement, they're calling. I think their kids love it. They don't, because they don't get to see their kids anymore. But they are. It's an amazing thing, whatever it may be. And
he doesn't. Whatever it is,
I told
it's great.
Microsoft and frankly others, if they want to.
Whatever it is, it's great. But we're banning it and taking a cut.
TikTok, whether it's the 30% in the United States or the whole company, I say it's okay. But if you do that, we're really making it possible, because we're letting you operate here. So the United States Treasury would have to benefit also, not just the sellers. And I said, inform. Very simple. I mean, we have all the cards, because without us, you can't come into the United States. It's like,
guys, this sounds like communism.
The tenant's business needs a rent. It needs a lease. And so what I said to them is, whatever the price is, a very big proportion of that price would have to go to the Treasury of the United States. And
what do bookies call it? Is this a VIG? What's the appropriate term, guys?
Agreed with me very much. Yeah, please, in the back.
Thank you, sir.
So that deal may or may not happen. We've given them till September 15th or so, and we'll see if we can have it, and if they can be great security, meaning the obvious security. Microsoft would be a company that would be good in that respect, or approved in that respect at many levels, including working with the Department of Defense, and they have very high-level approvals.
So Microsoft buys it, it can continue, and Trump takes a slice, I guess.
Have you or anyone in the administration reached out to other companies aside from Microsoft to see if they're interested?
No, we've had other companies call us. Microsoft called me directly, and we've had other companies call. I don't know where they are. It sounds like Microsoft is along the way of doing something.
TikTok tax.
I don't blame them. It'd be, it's a great company. It's really a great company. But we cannot take the security risks of any of those companies, including Huawei, which, as you know, we put a halt to. But we can't take the security risk. I think our attitude on China has changed greatly since the China virus hit us. I think it changed greatly. It hit the world, and it shouldn't have. They should have been able to stop it. So we feel differently. I just don't know. When you lose so many thousands of people, and ultimately it'll be millions of people around the world. It's a terrible thing that happened to.
Oh, now he's actually saying the global death toll will be in the millions. That's interesting.
Yes, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have two quick questions, one on the virus and one on policing. On the virus, you said recently that there can be too much testing. Can you explain what the downside would be from testing too many Americans for the virus, and why you haven't provided a date by which all Americans might have the same kind of testing that we have here at the White House?
Well, we do more testing than anybody in the world, as I explained, and I don't mean just a little bit. If you look at India, they're at about 11 million, and we're at 61 million.
Per capita, my friend.
And there comes a point when you want to focus your testing in a different way, and we'll be announcing something. What we've done is incredible with the testing. Not only the testing, not only the number of tests, but also, very importantly, the quality of the test and the machinery itself to do the testing. Nobody thought it would be possible to get a 5-minute and a 15-minute result. That's a very accurate result, and we do with Abbott. Abbott Laboratories has done a great job. Many of these companies have done an incredible job. So we're looking at that very strongly, and we're looking at...
Just remember, guys, just because Trump's repeating the same thing, and you probably don't need to hear it again, now actually comparing our testing per capita to other countries while still relevant. If a country has dealt with the virus, they don't have people to test because nobody has it, or very few people have it. So at this point, like, early was the time to be killing everybody in tests per capita. Now we have to keep testing a lot because we still have so many cases. Other countries don't.
It's even believable that we're able to test so much. 61 million versus, most countries.
We are only able to do that because we have so many cases.
If somebody's feeling badly, they're symptomatic, that's when they test. And that's a big difference. With us, we go around and looking, because if we find spots, we find hot spots. One problem is from the standpoint of...
Guys, we're 5 months in. It's like if he still doesn't get this, it's the ship has sailed. The ship has sunk.
I called it the other day, and a statement, I said it's called media gold. For the media, it's gold. But the truth is, we've done an incredible job in testing. Nobody in the world has done the job. Other leaders have told me the same thing. They can't believe we're able to do it. And we will continue. But we want to really be able to test very specific.
By the way, I just saw a super chat from Philip DeFranco, and he just followed me on Twitter. I think that may be the real Philly D. That's wild.
First, about what you tweeted out earlier today in regards to Florida. And your comfortableness as it relates to mail-in ballots for Florida.
Okay, I'm glad you're asking.
Why does that apply to Florida and it doesn't apply to mail-in balloting across the country?
So Florida's got a great Republican governor, and it had a great Republican governor. It's got Ron DeSantis, Rick Scott, two great governors. And over a long period of time, they've been able to get the absentee ballots done extremely professionally. Florida is different from other states. I mean, in Nevada, where you have a governor, he said, let's just send out...
It's different in a lot of bad ways, I hate to say.
Not be prepared. I haven't spoken to the post office about it, but I don't know how they could possibly be prepared. Florida has been working on this for years, and they have a very good system of...
What Trump means is he votes in Florida, and he doesn't want to be called out for it, and he votes by mail.
So in the case of Florida, there aren't too many people that would qualify. They're so well run. Florida's a very well run state. Low taxes, low everything. They've done a great job, really a great job. And the two governors, between the both of them, they've really got a great system of absentee ballots, and even in the case of mail-in ballots, the postal services are built up there. You know, it takes a long time. When you look at the Carolyn Maloney election, I think and I'll give you the story, I think you have to do that election over. That election's no good. You have to take a look in New York. They have thousands of ballots. They don't know what happened to them. Is there fraud? It's a disaster. And that's only for a relatively small number of ballots. But I think they have to do the election in New York over. The Times wrote a big story about it yesterday, front page story. It's a disaster. It's a mess. And they have to do that. I think they have to do that election over. Nobody can know what the election result is. So in the case of Florida, they've done a great job.
Florida's good.
They've had tremendous success with it. But they've been doing this over many years, and they've made it really terrific. So for Florida,
there are states that are entirely vote by mail that have been doing it for years. The idea that Florida, run by intellectual smurf Ron DeSantis, is the picture that we should all be it's unbelievable.
they're going to be voting in a matter of weeks, and you can't do that. I can't imagine the post office could do it. All of a sudden, they're supposed to be dealing in millions of ballots. But Florida's done a great job, and we have total confidence that if you mail in your ballot in Florida, it's going to matter. Thank you all very much. Thank you. Thank you very much.
What about in other states? Would you encourage voters
Gingerly,
in other states
it's
to request
pumpkin.
ballots mailed in?
He's looking even more ginger in his walking than we've seen him many times before. What a shit show, right, guys? I mean, just the rantings of a confused madman. And this was the tweet that was being referred to about, whoa, Sam Cedar out of nowhere. This was the tweet that was being referred to. Let's see if I can zoom it for us a little bit. And a tweet that it makes as little sense as it appears to make. Okay, it's as ridiculous. Whether you call it vote by mail or absentee implies it's the same thing, which it is. But he's been saying that they're two different things all along. And I mean, it's like, at this point, do we even need to analyze these things in this detail? It's like when Trump talks about case fatality rate versus deaths per capita. Of course he doesn't get it. And if he got it, he would just lie. So like, what are we really doing? Is this really what American politics has come to at this? It's exhausting. That's exactly right. People who are saying they're tired, that's exactly right. Listen, shots have been fired across the bow by Sam Cedar. He made some very, very ugly statements claiming that some of our now 914,000 subscribers are fake, that they're bots. So tomorrow I'm going to be responding to this, and we will be kicking up an extremely extensive, completely fake battle against Sam Cedar. But the part that's very real is we're trying to get to 1 million subscribers by Election Day. So before you head out, all 15,000 of you who are watching on YouTube, please hit that subscribe button. It's a free button. I'm selling you nothing here. It's just a free button. We can't allow these insults from Samuel Cedar to take down the integrity of this channel. Thanks for joining me today. I'll be back tomorrow. We've got a new show. There will probably be streams tomorrow night on Twitch only. I will be joining Alex Botez, who will be teaching me more about how I might avoid embarrassment in the upcoming PogChamps 2 chess tournament on chess.com. That'll be tomorrow night, I believe 6:45 p.m. Eastern, 3:45 p.m. Pacific. We'll see you then.